Hey everybody, I'm going to talk about week 8, managing photos and storage. This came from a request from last semester about how do you manage with so many photos. And I think my methods for myself have changed over time. I have a lot of photos. So let's go through the module first, then we'll talk about it. So our discussion, and I'd love you to hop on and talk with us so we can learn from each other. How do you store your photos? Do you use an iCloud drive or a cloud drive like Google Photos or Amazon or iCloud? Or do you put it in like an external hard drive? Have you ever created or printed a photo book? How do you share photos with other people? And then there's some optional things. So I would love to hear from you on those. Backing up and sharing photos. So this is what I do. As you know, I have a Mac, but I use 3 services actually. So I have them in my iPhotos, which is a big library, and there is a file that's called your iPhoto library that you can back up somewhere. But I actually pay for iCloud. I pay for 2 terabytes a month because I like to share my photos when I'm with people, and it can access those in the cloud. So I just pay for that. It's a few dollars a year. It ends up it's probably like $20 a year when it goes to it. I also pay for Google storage. So it also backs up my photos there. And I have Amazon Prime, so it backs up my photos there. So I've got 3 places where photos are being saved on my computer and backing up in these areas for less than probably $50 a year. And I think that for me is the best idea because like if I had to leave my house or my computer or something happened, those photos would be in those accounts, and I really like that. Now, before all of this, we didn't have digital photos, and I have not taken the time to digitize my photos. A lot of my friends have, but I just haven't done it. I'm probably too lazy to do it. So I've got like 14 photo albums and then a whole cabinet of like my parents' photos and stuff, and that's probably not very safe, but that's where they are. One day when I have time, I should probably get a digital scanner and put them all in there, but seems pretty overwhelming to me, so I have not done that. External hard drives. So my recommendation on external hard drives, if you're going to back up photos to them, I would get a solid state drive. And why? Those don't have any moving parts, and they're most likely to be there a long time from now. So what am I talking about? Let me open a new window and show you like on a solid state drive, maybe on Costco, just because that's where I get stuff from. So solid state drive. These. So these SanDisks, there's no moving parts. They're these small little things. So for $129, you get 2 terabytes, and it's not going to break. Or for 4 terabytes for $239. So you can put all the photos you've ever done in 4 terabytes, I'm sure. And you have this little thing that you can share or lock on something, and it'll always be there. If you got a regular drive, just like a hard drive, they're cheaper, but they last like maybe 3 or 4 years, and then something seems to break on them. So where are the hard drives? I need to put computer. And maybe I should put external drive. External hard drive. So like your Western Digitals and all that, I don't know why I can't find it. So I'm going to go to Amazon and do it. So I'll put external hard drive. There we go. Let's look for a terabyte. So now again, these are great because they're the solid state drives, and these don't have moving parts. I highly, highly recommend that. If you get a drive that is not solid state, they have moving parts in them, like the Seagate drive or like Western Digital drive, all these types of things. If they don't say solid state, they do have moving parts, and they're a lot cheaper, but they're probably going to have a shelf life of like these, of maybe 3 or 4 years if you're lucky. So I'd be very reluctant to rely on those for long-term storage of photos. You might ask, should I back them up on like a CD or something? You can do that. Those also, I mean, they're laser etched, but those have a shelf life also, to be honest. I'd still rather go with those solid state drives. Okay, here's something I love. Although Shutterfly, I think they just sold to, I'm going to look it up right now. I was using Shutterfly to create photo books, and what's great about them is you can just put them out on a table or coffee table and then share them when people come over. And that is fantastic. So if you do a great trip to another country, or you have an event where there's photos, it's like maybe $100 and you have a beautiful book of all of those things. So I think, let me go to Shutterfly and just see. I know it was sold somewhere, but like these books of your trip, and they're very easy to put together on here. So let me look. I think it's combining with another one. I just can't remember. Shutterfly sold. So where is it going? Shutterfly. I think it's going somewhere else. Acquired by, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so it still says it's Shutterfly. So for now, you can use it. So what you do is you upload your photos in there, and then you pick the size book, and it gives you different layouts you can do, and it does it kind of automatically, and then you can change it. And I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just saying that's like something that I've done, and I really enjoy it. So like this book here, these photo books, that's what I do if I have like a really great adventure. And I'll make these books. Here's a wedding one every day. You can pick like anything that's low cost to higher cost, depending on the number of pages, the quality of the paper, and the cover. So it's really pretty great. So these travel photo books is where I go, and then I pick one of these designs, like travel gallery. It's $25, or it says $50, it says. And then you pick the size, and then if you want a hard or soft cover, it gets cheaper. You can see there, which is usually what I do. And then you just start uploading your photos to it, and then it'll give you like a preview of it, and then it'll mail it to you when it's done, after you approve the look and feel of it. So I pretty much love that. Sharing photos online. One of the ways that our generation's been sharing photos, mostly on Facebook and now Instagram. The new folks are on like X and TikTok, and I don't use those. I mainly use Facebook for my own friends and family, and I do have two-factor authentication on it so I don't get hacked. Very, very important. So I used to use Flickr. I don't use that anymore, but I use photos.google.com. I pay, I think it's like $1 a month or something for the storage there, and I share on Facebook. So those are things that it is nice to keep in touch with people. You may not like Facebook, and that's totally fine. So it's not a long module, this one, but it's just 4 pages, and I would again love it if you shared how you manage your photos. I do love the way Apple does their things in iPhoto, and it just syncs to all these other things that in the cloud services. So what is the cloud services? The cloud services are where companies are storing all your data, and it costs money for them to build that and expand it. So that's why they do have charges for that service. But I still think it's overall the best way to keep your photos safe and accessible, even if something happened to your computer or whatever, is cloud storage. So highly recommend picking a service, whether it's iCloud, paying for iCloud storage, which is my number one, Amazon Photos, or Google Storage, one of those. In addition to, if you want to back it up on one of those drives that are solid state, like the ones I showed you. So that's it for this week on managing photos and storage.